Maybe. Just don't go for coffee if she rings you up in the morning, because it's her last chance for the coffee talk. Okay, here's Jan.
I've been waiting years for this. Be very, very afraid. First of all, I'd like to thank you for a wonderful party. My God. Winston Ponder, shut up. I want to thank you and to all the people who have organised this magnificent party. God, it's better than anything I could ever have dreamed of. Thank you so much. Who'd have thought in 1964 I was doing you such a favour by entering the convent? I've provided you with so much material.
I wasn't in a board.
Oh, yes, you were. Right. Now, you know, by museum standards, I haven't been here very long. I've only been here a mere 19 years. But I want you to know that I've experienced 3 directors, 3 deputy directors, 4 assistant directors, 4 divisions, 6 office moves, 5 uniforms, 4 logos, and 7 admissions. On the executive that used to be called BOM, that used to be called MT, and before that was called Stand Up, even though we used to sit down. So I think it's time to move on. For me, the museum has always been a place of magnificent highs and spectacular lows. We seem to have covered the full spectrum. We've lost too many colleagues too early. But it is also a place of magnificent memories. I have to tell you that in all my years in the workforce, I never worked anywhere like the museum where people were so happy to tell you how to do your job. You get advice from everywhere, don't you? But the strangest advice I ever received was from Alex Richmond, who came into my office one day to tell me that my problem was that I wore colours that were too bright. Of course, I accepted his criticism calmly and positively, and I think I responded with something like, Alex, the day I take fashion from a 50-year-old scientist is the day I die. I made a few mistakes with the scientist when I first arrived at the museum. I'd come back from leave in January, one year, and I asked Winston Ponder if he'd had a nice Christmas. To an analyst, I said, did you have a nice Christmas? He said, humph, Christmas? Nothing but a pagan festival overlaid with commercial overtones. Other advice I've enjoyed were Russ Weekly's suggestions of ways that the museum could save money by selling all the office chairs and sacking all the scientists when they turn 30. As you'd appreciate, it's been difficult packing up and leaving after all this time, and the only way I could stay focused was to make lists. And now I found myself making more lists, like things I need to apologise for. To the previous education staff, I'm sorry I painted the education corridor that particularly ghastly shade of yellow. I'm afraid I listened too carefully to Kathy Payne's advice on feng shui. If you all want to avoid it in the future, you might want to know that it's called wild mango. And to all of his long-suffering supervisors, I'd like to apologise and admit nobody forced me, nobody asked me, but I hired Robert Muir. No, Uh,